Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. Today we will learn what is research paper and how to write a research paper. This is extremely important topic. Most of the people they do research but they are struggling how to write it and how to submit it to a journal. So today we will learn what is research paper first and then we will learn how to write a good research paper. Now keep it in mind, research paper is a piece of academic writing and it is based on author's original research. Keep this thing in mind, whatever you do, whatever you have done like your research, it should be original. There must be novelty in your work. If you have not done original research, there is no contribution in your research, then this video is not for you. But if you have done original research, you think in your research there is a contribution, then watch this video. I will guide you how to write a good research paper from your work. Now, if your work is good, there is a contribution, so it holds a great importance. So the paper that you are writing, it needs to be written perfectly. Whatever you submit to a journal conference, it should be a perfect piece of writing. And keep this thing in mind. You want to achieve excellence in writing or summarizing your data and all these things, you need much more than the only knowledge. You might be good what you have done, but you need some additional skills how to write it, how to arrange it. So this we will learn in today's video. Now I will tell you how to write based on one example. I will give you an example. Let's say we have done some research and now how to write that in the form of paper. So let's say we have done some research on solar cell, right? And in that research we have improved the efficiency of solar cell. We have the solar cell, now we have done some research and at the end we have the efficiency is greater than the previous one. So this work, how we will start? In the research paper, it starts from you must select a proper title for it. Then you might have seen there is abstract and then introduction and the rest of the body. We will start from the introduction and at the end we will come to the abstract and title. So if you are writing the introduction of your paper, how it should be? In the introduction, we keep these things in mind, few points. This must be in the introduction. If you write introduction based on these points, it will be a good introduction. As we have done research related to solar, which is renewable energy, we must provide a background here in the start of the introduction. Or you can say a story in the start of the introduction. So here, the first thing should be background or story. In this story, what we will write? We will write about the solar energy or solar panel or solar cell, whatever we have done. So we will write in this way that why the people start using solar energy. Because they were using the fossil fuel. There are problems from the fossil fuels. We are having the carbon emission and all these things. So people start thinking about the solar energy and one of the people start thinking, renewable energy, and one of the renewable energy is solar cell. The solar itself. And solar cell, we use solar cell to scavenge the solar energy. Now, there is a problem. The problem is with the existing energy. Let's say the fossil fuel, the oil, gas, coal, which we are using. So within this story, in the last few lines of the story, of the background, you will explain about that big problem, which is a problem here like carbon emission is there. Or we have the global warming and all these things because of the fossil fuel. So this big problem you will write here. This is the second step of the introduction. Now keep it in mind, this is not your research gap. That we will come later to that your research gap. This is the big problem why people have started using solar. Now once you finish this problem, big problem, then you will write literature review. Like the big problem was the carbon capture, people start using solar. In the literature review you will write what people have done so far. They have used photovoltaic cell, they have used the solar collector, different types of photovoltaic cells are available, crystalline, monocrystalline, cool. You will write what people have done, and that is known as literature review. So the third step here in your introduction must be literature review. If this is, let's say, one paragraph, this must be 1.5 to 2 paragraph it can be, the literature review. Now whatever you review, the people work, what people have done, you have to find a gap in that literature review. Like people have done this, they have done this, they have done this, but no one has touched this point, or the efficiency that the people have improved is still less and there is need to increase it more. That you will write here the point D, which is research gap. So this is the fourth point, research gap. And this research gap or the research problem within the literature review you will write. This big problem is throughout the world, like the big problem of the story, you will write here. This is that thing. Once you are done with the research gap, then you have to write the last paragraph of the introduction. And people say you write here, they are saying like you can write objective or scope of your study, which is fine, you can write. But the other way, if you write, let's say, some motivation, you write a motivational statement, 2-3 lines, that why we are doing this work, and then you write, which is same somehow scope of the research or objective, and then you write here statement of contribution. You write your own contribution, what you do. That statement of contribution will be the end of your introduction. This is extremely important, this paragraph. In this paragraph, again I repeat, you have to give a motivational statement here. And you have to write your contribution. You have to write your contribution, what you have done in this paper. In few lines you will put it here. Mostly the reviewer looked into this paragraph, and not even the reviewer, the reader. If you are reading a research paper, mainly the people focus on this paragraph and then they decide whether he should read the paper or not. So this paragraph is extremely important. You can give 2 bullet points like motivation and statement of contribution. So all these points are important in the introduction. This is your introduction. Now the second part, it depends. Now after this, the paper varies from person to person what you have done. But as we have taken example of the solar cell, so let's say we have made a mechanism through which we have increased the efficiency of solar cell. So here point number 2, it should be either if you have designed something, so you will write design here, right? If you have done some mathematical modeling, it could be modeling, right? It depends. If you have done, let's say, simulation study, so you can write simulation. Or it could be, if let's say you have done something, you have not done the proper mathematical modeling, your study does not include the simulation, so you can write working principle. Like based on what your mechanism works. So at least you can write the working principle here. If you have fabricate something, you have designed and fabricate something, here you can write how your device will look like. The architecture of the device you can put here also. So this is point number 2, and in this you will put either design and modeling, either simulation, mathematical modeling, whatever thing you have done for your research. So this is important. Now if you have fabricate something, let's say you have designed, then you have done some fabrication. So your point number 3 must be fabrication. Now it depends. If you have done, let's say, a theoretical study, so this point 2 must belong in detail. You will provide here, and you will put little bit in fabrication. But if you are focusing more on the fabricational thing, like you have designed something, then you have fabricated, and mostly your work is related to design, so focus more on the fabrication. Put step by step procedure, how you fabricated this thing and how you came up to the final prototype. This will be point number 3. Now here I am not putting detail, but because it depends from person to person what you have done. Now you have your device, whatever you have made, right? Your mechanism, your thing is ready here. You have to test it. So you will put the experimentation, point number 4. Or you can say characterization. It could be experimentation, it could be characterization. If you have done some study related to something in which you are more focusing on what types of experiments you are doing, what types of characterization you have done, so then this point must be detailed. You should put all the details here. But even if you have done, let's say, mathematical study, some fabrication you have done and characterization you have done, you put all these. And if you have all these in your paper, it will be considered a good paper. Because if you have a theoretical study, then you have experimental study. And this will be considered a good paper. So include all relevant things in the characterization. Whatever is necessarily for your thing. Like if you are doing with solar, so maybe you can put the IV curve, the PV curve, you can put the voltage versus the irradiance graphs and all these things, whatever is required. If something is not required, don't put it here. Put only the important thing here, and in which thing you have improved. Let's say you have increased efficiency. So from this parameter, you can show that I have increased the efficiency. Put those things here in point 4, which is experimentation and characterization. After this, you will put discussion, or you can say analysis of the result, which in some case could be a part of the experimentation. You analyze it here even in the experimentation. But if you have, let's say, more graphs, you can put a separate section, discussion, where you analyze your result, right? So discussion, again, it varies from person to person, but this is extremely important. You explain your result, why the result behavior is like this, why something is increasing, why it is decreasing. All these things you are providing the justification here. This is important. So write to the point, don't make it lengthy, to the point, and straight away go to the point what you have done. Don't go here and there. Don't put unnecessary thing in the discussion. Straight away write whatever you have done. The final thing is conclusion. Now in the conclusion, point number 6 is conclusion. In the conclusion, we have few things which you have to keep in mind. Whenever you are writing conclusion of the paper, what you will put in the conclusion? Look, the first point which you should take care, here you must put summary of the main points, right? What you have done, you have to put summary of those points in few lines. And summary could be in a sense like you have designed something, you write that we successfully designed this thing, then we fabricated this thing, and we have done the experimentation, and the result achieved is this. This is like the summary of your work. But one important thing, at the end you put a strong final statement, which is extremely important. This is, once you finish with the summary, then put that strong statement. That strong statement could be, if you have done something, you will say that the results we have achieved are promising and it provides, let's say, base to the future characterization of this type of thing. If you have developed some material, you can say that this material, the results are promising and this material provide base to it. Like we can have the solar cell, which is more efficient. So that strong statement is important in the last few lines of the conclusion. And the last thing which you can include, and you cannot, it depends on your work, the future work you have done up till this work, and you can include in the introduction few lines like, in the future work we are working on this thing and we are expecting something, whatever, it depends on your case to case. But usually people even don't put this, but this is fine. If you put it here, it's okay. But if you don't want to put it here, like you are still working on something and you don't want to disclose it, so no need to put the future work in the paper. But if you want to put it, you can put it. The last thing is the citation, references. Now in the references, keep it in mind, whatever you have put in your paper, if you have taken data from somewhere, you have to cite. If you fail to cite, the documents might be treated as plagiarized. So keep this thing in mind. Whatever you are putting here, you have to cite, mainly in the introduction and literature review. So it is not bad that you have cited someone's work. We have to acknowledge, if somebody has done some work and we are taking his data and using in our work, we have to acknowledge that guy. We have to acknowledge the other authors. And you have to put it. If you are not putting it, then it is not put. Again, the citation should be according to the style of the publisher. If you are submitting to, let's say, some journal, that journal will provide you, the citation should be according to this style. IEEE, APA, whatever. So you have to follow while writing the paper. If your citation is not according to the journal, they will not accept. And the editor will send you the paper back. Then you have to work on it and then you submit. But to avoid this step, so that the editor should not send you the paper back, you should follow the proper formatting of the references. And it is better to use tools like you can use EndNote, you can use Mendeley, Reference Manager, all these things are there. So it is easy to change from one format to another to cite the things properly. These 3 points are extremely important in the references. You have to cite every work that you are taking help from. You have to put the references according to the publisher style. Whatever style they want, you have to do it. The last thing is, it is better to use tools for referencing. Mendeley, Reference Manager, EndNote, whatever you have, use it. These are the important points. Now, once you finish all these, then you come to the abstract. And in the abstract, we write few things. I will write one because abstract is one. In the abstract, what you have to put? Again, you have to put background from motivation point of view. Right? Abstract is actually summary of the article. So, as we have introduction, and in the introduction we have background story, we have to put the same but in different word in the abstract. Very short, 1 line, 2 line. You must put background here. Background must be there from motivational point of view. So you motivate, you put why you have done this. The second thing is research objective and problem statement must be there. What was the problem? Like here you put from solar point of view, you tell that there is a need of green energy to overcome the problem that we have from the fossil fuel. The problem with the green energy, we are using solar cell, but the efficiency of solar cell is not that much. So this is the problem statement you have defined in the first, just after the background, in 1 or 2 lines. This is important. So keep this thing in mind. After background, you put the problem statement here. You have to put the problem statement here. After this, you just briefly, you put like overview of the methodology, what methodology you have adopted. So it should be an overview. Overview of methodology. Methodology here, like from design, fabrication, experimentation, all these things, just an overview you provide. We have designed something, we do the mathematical modeling, we have done simulation, and the device was fabricated in this way and was tested for the PV curve, for IV curve, or tested for anything, it depends. So all those things will come to the overview. This is like in the middle of the abstract, 3-4 lines. This is the main thing. First you put background, problem statement. These could be very short, these two. But keep it in mind, your sentences must be strong, because this is the sentence which attract people towards your paper in the abstract. The first 2 lines of the abstract. This must be strong points. And after the overview, you put like the key finding. And then those key findings, as I told you, related to your experiment, whatever you have done, and what you have concluded from your work. Again, close your abstract with the strong statement, as I told you in the conclusion. Here also close the abstract with strong statement. That strong statement, as I told you, that here you will put the findings, right? So you can write the results, the findings are in this way, and it could provide base for future work related to anything, depends on your research. So this strong statement must be here. All these points, keep it in mind. If you follow this way, your paper will go to a very good journey. Now the final thing is the title of the paper. The title of the paper, it depends what you have done. Keep it in mind. Once you write this whole thing, the title you can write easily. But keep few things in title in mind. What should be in the title? The words, right? If you have not done characterization of something for this thing, don't put anything related to characterization. If you have not included, let's suppose, design, there is no design actually, and you have just straight away you went to the fabrication or something, don't put design of something. If you have not improved the efficiency of something, let's suppose, and this is only a mechanism, like in solid, let's suppose if you have not done cooling of the panel, you have not done cleaning of the panel, you have not changed the material of the panel, so then you have not increased the efficiency. You have designed, let's suppose, mechanism only for, let's say, for cooling of the system. You have designed a mechanism, but you have not tested this one. Then you will not put the efficiency improvement or performance improvement in the title. But if you have done, you have to put it. Let's suppose you have done some research, you have designed and developed some system for this application. The application could be, let's suppose, for some building, you have done the solar thing, for internet of things you have done, you can use that one. But if you have not done those things, let's suppose there is some system in which you have generated energy from something and you are using that energy for IoT, let's suppose internet of things. So you can write, but you must prove it from the work that you are using it for IoT or it is suitable for IoT. You cannot just put any word in the title. And make sure your title reflect whatever you have submitted. It should be very clear. If somebody reads the title, he should understand that this paper is about this thing. This is extremely important. Now all these are the things which you must have in the paper, right? I will give you some bonus tips how you start your research paper and how you can complete it quickly. Usually the people do their work and then they are confused how to get started. So I will clean this and then I will give you the bonus tips how you can complete your paper easily. Okay, the bonus tips are, let's say you have done some work, now you want to start. So don't think like I will write this. No, just get started. The first bonus tip is just start. Anything, start it. Sit on the computer and say that now I am writing the thing. If you don't have anything to write, just write the outlines. Create the outlines. Like you will have, let's say, abstract. You don't have anything to put in the abstract. You have introduction, let's say design, and all the things, right? Just write the heading. Don't put anything here. So just create the outline and look into the paper. Don't write anything. Right? This is extremely important. You will think where you will put tables. Again, this is important. Figures, where will be figures? How many figures? So this must be in your mind. So once you sit, you say this must be my figure 1. You write the title, let's suppose the architecture of the device, of the mechanism. There must be a table which show the data of 1 year, the solar irradiance of that area. So put that table. But just start it. From here you take a start. After this you write first drop. You start, like you will not sit like this just creating outline and paper will be by self-paperwork. No. Then you have to write, of course. So write the first drop. Don't think it is wrong, write whatever is there. But first drop is important. Write the first drop of everything. Right? So once you have the first drop, you are half done. This point, it will tell you that you are half done. Half done means you have the first drop. You have something in the introduction, you have something in the design, experiments, you have something, whatever you have done. This is half paper you have done. Now, what you do? Again, you have to read this draft again and again. You have to read it. Read the documents again and again. Read the documents again and again, and wherever you feel there is a need of change it. And if you read it 2-3 times and you do the changes, your paper is ready. Once you feel that now it is ready, then check the grammar, punctuation, right? These are important. Check for the grammar. And one important thing, duplicate words, right? Check for duplicate words. So you must not put one word repeatedly. Remove the duplicate word. Put some same meaning word but remove the duplicate word. This is important. Check for the grammar, punctuation and all these things. Remove the duplicate word. Once you finish this one, the final thing, like you can say, make sure your final paper is clean, right? Clean, neat and attractive. Attractive in a sense, how you will make your paper attractive. You must use good cosmetics, like for figure must be clear, high resolution photos must be there. If you have some block diagram, draw it clearly. The arrow must show clearly from where it is going, where it is ending. right? The table must be formatted properly. Mainly if your figures are okay, your tables are okay, in the start abstract few lines, there is no repetition of words again and again. Title is fine, it means you are, and references, important thing, references. If your references are in the style of the journal, you are in the submission, even if you submit half done, the reviewer, the editor will forward your paper to the reviewer. If you are not done here, you have some problem here, either your figures are not good looking, your title is not reflecting whatever inside the paper, your referencing style is not good, or the whole document is not according to the style of the journal, the editor itself will return the paper. Even it will not go to the expert, it will not go to the reviewer. Editor is not always expert in your field. He is like a common man for your research. Sometimes it might be, but always it is not. So how to impress a common man from your document? And that is by cosmetics. Put the figures, proper figure, tables and all these things. The final thing, before submitting the file to the journal, before submission, ask yourself, this is the part, ask yourself, is this the best I can do? You have done everything, right? This is it. I always tell the people, is this the best I can do? Whatever you have done, you wrote a paper, you have done research, everything, you put some experiments, now the document is in front of you. If this is the best that you can do, then go for submission. If you still feel you can improve it, try and improve it. Take help from someone. But if you think this is the best, go for submission and your paper will be accepted. I wish you good luck. Go for your work now and start writing paper. That's it from my side. I hope you enjoyed the video. And next video in this playlist, we will make how to write a review paper. Right? This was for technical. How to write a review paper. How to read a research paper for new student. So these types of video we will upload in this playlist related to research. That's it. See you in the next video.